Right. Oh, right. I think all people actually hear me. Uh, you know. So today, let us listen the next topics we have discussed. And last 2 weeks actually already we discussed that first topics of this lesson, first lesson. And we have the recording. So if someone missed that first sessions, first week's sessions, please put a message to me. I can send you the recordings for that. And already we put this to the YouTube also. So you can do it for that thing also, and you can get the recordings, and you can watch that videos also. And if someone have the doubt about that thing, anything, please tell me. Uh, anything, any topics of this first lesson, and please tell me. I can explain that thing again, and I can arrange another session for that people also, no problem for that thing. And in the if you have some doubt, please message to me or in the physical classroom, please inform me. I can arrange that with that for you. So already now, if someone joined today, I can explain you the some brief idea about this first lesson. And normally this lesson name actually beginning and expansion of the communication. That is the idea. And beginning and expansion of the communication, that this first lesson actually have three subtopics: beginning, expansion, and the importance. Okay, beginning, expansion, and importance. Beginning means how actually it start and when it start actually. Actually, we don't know what is the birth date of this communication process, but we know some ideas about the communication subject. So actually, this process actually start from human's origin and the world's origin. That type of that much far ideas here. So expansion idea means the evaluation, development, implementations of this communication process, not the subject process. And in that point, in that case, we can point out the prehistoric era and the new era ideas. Prehistoric era means uh, the primary communication system usage, when shooting fire, that type of things are there. And new era means the computer-based, social media-based. That now we have the AI technological things also. That is the expansion idea, development of this communication process. And the third topic is importance of the communication. Importance, main two importance are literacy developing and the criticism developing. Literacy means ability to read, write, and understand it. Criticism means deeply analyzing something. Okay, that 2 points really important in the communication studies. So after that, some other sub levels of importance also there: information gathering, sharing, education, entertaining, motivation type of ideas also there. Okay, this is just a summary. Okay, and if someone missed the last sessions, just get the point. Okay, and after that thing, if someone asks what is communication, simple point is exchanging feeling, thoughts, and information to selected one, someone. That is the communication idea. Exchanging feeling, thoughts, informations, your knowledge also, whatever it is. If you can exchange that thing with someone, that is the communication simple idea. That's the point. And after that thing, if someone asks in the paper also, if they ask to write what are the characteristics of the communication process, son of the subject process. 6 characteristics are there. What are the characteristics? First one, very far expand. Now you know it's a very old one, and we don't know actual day when it started. That much one, far expand. Secondly, simple one. Anyone can do this thing without any much more knowledge. No problem. Anyone can do this. But in communication, it means exchanging your feelings. The no much more knowledge you want to exchange your feelings. It's a simple thing and natural. The humans, we are humans, we are not aliens, no, we are humans. We are humans, we have the talent to what thing. We can talk. We can verbally express our ideas with someone. That's a good talent. It's a great talent. And that is the main point. Actually, we and the animals actually dividing. Okay, think about that. Difference. Think about that. We can speak. We can communicate very well, and we can explain something very well than others. It's a good point. So it's a natural gift. We have that natural. So communication is natural. Sometimes we can develop that thing artificially using technology or something. See, in this platform also, we create this thing. We artificially develop this format. You can join with this point. But naturally, we can communicate. All people can communicate. No problem. Natural means without technology also we can do this thing. No problem. Practical means what? In our day-to-day life, so many activities we have. Performing, acting, writing, dancing, whatever it is, all the things depend on what thing is communication. What? Exchanging your things with others. Exchange your things with others. That's the problem. Not a problem. That's the thing. And after that, essential is another characteristic. Essential means it's a must. Without communication, we can't do anything. Brain and the nerve system, five sense and the nerve system, five sense with the brain. Without that thing, no one can live. Think about breathing, that type of things actually depend on the natural things, the environment. So if you don't have that sense, you can't live. That's the thing. So that's much essential. Other thing, process idea, lastly, characteristic, last part. Process is this communication is step by step work. It means sender is there. Sender means developer of the message. Then I am the sender now. I develop some messages and I express that thing with you verbally. You can listen that thing, you can see me, you can get the idea. Okay, I'm the sender in here and my message coming out of mouth, okay, and you can listen that thing. It means the medium audio and you are the receiver. You can understand that thing because this thing very simple communication system. So step by step work. Sender is here, message is there, medium is there, and you there. So this is a communication system. It's a process. Step by step work. After that thing, interpersonally, mass communicationally, we can develop this communication system. Interpersonal means you have the friends or something, you can discuss with them, you can understand their feelings, and you can trust them. They can trust you. Interpersonal communication depend on this. Mass communication, think about television, radio, newspapers, all the things depend on this communication. Okay? And after that, if you know communication very well, no one can cheat. Okay, no one can no one can distract. So what are the illusions? And you know what are the fake things. You know what is the relevant media, relevant informations. You know what is accuracy. Okay, no one can distract. You can become a good communicator. You can develop your wisdom. Wisdom means extraordinary skill of thinking. That type of things you can develop. And after that, what are the main two aims of the communication? Literacy and criticism idea. Literacy means what thing? Ability to read, write, and understand. If someone can understand something very well than others, if someone can read something very well than others, if someone can, okay, write something, that means they have literacy. Okay, you can listen to me, you can see me, you can understand the points that I told you. That means you have literacy. That's why you join with this. Okay, and after that, criticism means that. Criticism means what thing? Criticism means deeply analyzing something scientifically, logically. If you can understand something logically, deeply, It's a good thing for your knowledge, good thing for your logical thinking. Think about that. But another type is the media literacy and media criticism also there. It's a different type. Okay. Media criticism and media literacy. Media criticism means what thing? Media criticism means if you can understand the media messages deeply, that is media criticism. If you can develop some media messages using analyzing, creating, evaluating, and utility ideas, if you know that thing, you have what the media literacy. Okay, media literacy means four skills idea: analyzing, creating, utilizing, and evaluation. If you have these four skills, means you have media literacy. Okay, think about that. And after this go, some people distract this idea. Some people misuse this communication idea. Some people use this thing for developing the fear, developing the war, that type of things. Not for the media literacy or not for the literacy. So world wars, first and second world, and the industrial revolution, and the people's ideologies really helpful for develop this subject. Okay, and with what thing? With academic discipline. Okay, without that thing, people think this communication only for the go, only for the get some information from the go. No, this can develop literacy. Okay, that's why some scholars, mainly American scholars, British scholars, try to develop this subject as a ethical subject, discipline-based subject, academic discipline-based subject. This is not a simple type of idea. It's a very important idea in our life. So, world wars, industrial revolution, people's ideology, very helpful for develop this subject. Develop this subject. Okay. Now, before that thing, before this World War idea, I talk about the communication. Now we have to talk about what is the studies subject. Type. So after that, American people, mainly three people are there. Last week we discussed that people also weeks. Okay. Charles Cooley, Walter Lippmann, John Dewey. Charles Cooley, Walter Lippmann, John Dewey. That three people really support to develop this independent communication idea in America. Mainly Charles Cooley is there. Charles Cooley represents sociological subjects, sociology. Walter Lippmann represents political science. John Dewey represent psychology. And they published three books. Charles Cooley published Social Organization book. Walter Lippmann published Public Opinion. John Dewey published Public and Their Problems book. Charles Cooley's book actually comes in 1909, very old, first person. 1922, the Walter Lippmann's books actually published. 1927, John Dewey's book actually published. Why they develop these books? Because they want to develop independent idea about the communication. Communication is not for the war, not for the violence. It can develop the society. It can develop the political people's ideology. It can develop the psychology, people's mentality. A type of very valuable thing, not communication. It's not just us exchanging idea. Very valuable thing. And after that, in the Hitler's time period, means Second World War time period. Second World War time period, we can see this misusing communication idea very well. And that time, some scholars actually migrated to America. Why? Hitler's communication system actually totally military based idea. He's actually represent the Nazism mind. Torture centers, so many killings, so many illegal things doing that. And Joseph Goebbels is the media propaganda minister by 33 to 45 that time. So German scholars migrate to America and they follow what concept? Charles Cooley's concept, open independent concept. Then they develop some new concepts. After that, the communication subject of the Europe ideas. Okay. Then some scholars' names are there. Kurt Lewin, George Gardner, Harold Delaswell, Wilbur Strong, Shannon Weaver, Warren Weaver is there, Paul Lazarsville, so many people are there. Mainly four people really important. Harold Delaswell, Wilbur Strong, Shannon, Claude Shannon, and Warren Weaver. These four people really important. According to these four people's names, main person is Wilbur Strong, very important. Wilbur Strong is a German person. Other three people are Americans. Okay. Wilberstram is a German person. Okay. Migrated from the German. Okay. Then Wilberstram is the person who developed the first syllabus for the communication studies. So Wilberstram became the first professor for the communication studies in the world. And Wilberstram is the first person who introduced a university department for the communication studies in 1947. Okay. After that, he developed some models, developed some definitions, introducing this subject for India, Africa, El Salvador, that type of countries. And he developed so many experimental groups. He invented the Samoa television network, and more research things are there. And after that, research, television research, he done that thing. Television and the lives of our children. That is the television research by Wilbur Frank. I think 1940, 1954, that time period. And according to that report, he realized 2 points. In 1926 is the year mainly television invented, okay, by John Logie in America. And after that, television actually become addictive, very attractive media in that time period. That time period means 1950s time. And after that, Wilbersham understand there are some addictive ideas are there mostly. You have to survey them. Then he realized 2 points. First thing one, if someone watch television, children so whatever it is, if someone watch television too much, it can develop the distance between parents and children. Parents and children. It can develop a distance between parents and children. First point. And secondly, he understands. Okay. If this thing happen, this distance actually happen, then distance can develop some kind of conflicts, struggles, anxieties between children and the parents. So that's the point. 2 points. First one, distance. Second one, it can develop conflicts or anxieties. According to these reports, another university in America, Pennsylvania University, they follow this report and they get the support from the Wilbersham also. And they develop another survey. That report, they realized actually 3 points mainly. That research based for what thing? If children watch some violent type cartoons much more, how it affects for their mindset. And they realize three things. First one, it can develop some loss sensitivity ideas for the children. No humanity, no sensitivity, no caring, sharing idea. All are selfish. It's a problem. Secondly, it can develop some environmental fear. Or that children don't try to move with the society because they have some fear about the society. Why? All the times in the television, murders, kidnapping, so many things are there. So, automatically mentally distracts children. After the last one, it can develop some aggressive, selfish type characters. Okay, that type of character is a very, very big problem. Okay. After that, we have to understand what are the importance of the communication. So, critically thinking actually develop according to the communication style. Okay. So your personality depend on your communication style. And national international knowledge about the communication comes after studying communication style. Become a good polite. You can develop some good polite interrelationships after studying communication. Okay. And you can understand the industry about the media after studying communication. Okay. And you can support the society after studying communication. Okay. You can become a good citizen after studying communication. That type of importance also there. So after that, last week we discussed about what the Sri Lankan history is about the communication idea. So I give some points for you. And mainly it starts from the 1734 for the first printed idea in Sri Lanka, Dutch law. Dutch law. That's the first printed idea in Sri Lanka. If you have the note, okay. But you don't have that type of note, please put that in. No problem. The simple line. After secondly, 1812, okay, the British people firstly published the Holy Bible Sinhala translation in Sri Lanka. First book, book. Firstly, they published a book, printed the book. That's it. And after that, British peoples actually 1832, they firstly published their English medium newspaper in Sri Lanka. It's called Colombo Journal. Colombo Journal. Colombo Journal. That's the newspaper. First newspaper in Sri Lanka. After that, British papers, they published first commercial newspaper in Sri Lanka. It's called the Observer Commercial Advertiser. The Observer Commercial Advertiser. The Observer Commercial Advertiser. That is the point. Observer Commercial Advertiser. And after that, Observer Commercial Advertiser. Then after that, 1860, Sri Lanka Sinhala medium first newspaper actually published. It's called Lanka Lokaya. It's developed from actually firstly when Dhammaloka and the Lampopakara Press. Together they developed this idea. And but problem is this is the first single newspaper in Sri Lanka, okay. But the problem is it's not a registered newspaper in Sri Lanka. Just a newspaper, but it's not registered. That's the problem. But that's the first newspaper in Sri Lanka. And after that, secondly, Sri Lankan peoples they published a registered newspaper after that thing. It comes after 1864. 1864. 1864. The first registered newspaper comes, it's called Lakmini Pahan. Lakmini Pahan. Lakmini Pahan. 1864. Right? Lakmini. Registered newspaper. Then after that, in 1860, 70, middle that time period, between that time period, first Tamil newspaper comes, published in Sri Lanka. It's called Udaya Tarakai. Udaya Tarakai. Morning Star. Udaya Tarakai. Okay. After 1870s, we can see what thing. For the first magazine, first periodical published magazine in Sri Lanka, and the first novel book, printed novel book in Sri Lanka. Okay. And the first first magazine is what? Masika Tag. First periodical magazine in Sri Lanka. Masika. Another thing, first printed novel book in Sri Lanka. It's called Meena. Meena. Meena author's name is really important. Meena book's author is Simon De Silva. So Simon De Silva's Meena is the firstly printed novel book in Sri Lanka. It's a very important point, to understand that. After that, I give some points about the radio systems in Sri Lanka. In 1920s, it means after the First World War, they introduced a radio system to Sri Lanka. It's called SIAC. It's called SIAC. 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 It's not a new idea-based radio station. The song charts, that type of thing is not in there. It's just a military information sharing system. Military information sharing system, not a mass commercial type radio station. Okay, that's the thing. SIAC in 1920s. SIAC 1920s. And after 1921, 1923, that time period, it's converted for the Colombo radio. Colombo radio. Colombo radio. SIAC converted to Colombo radio. And after that, the 1924, 1925, that time period, it's converted as a radio Ceylon. Radio Ceylon. This radio Ceylon is a very important radio because why? This is the first South Asian radio station. It's the first South Asian radio station, radio Ceylon. 25 is established here. And what is the first European-based, world's first one is BBC. World first radio station is BBC. Okay. And world's second radio system is what? Radio Ceylon. That's why Sri Lanka, the media history is very important one. Okay. BBC is the first radio station in the world, oldest one. And what is the second oldest radio station in the world? It's Radio Ceylon. Now 1925 to 2025 is 100 years. Now 101 years. It was that much. That much. So this the two things is very important. Huh? And after that thing, they have to point out who are the people really support for this thing. And three people are there. You have to point out that thing there. Who are the people support for this radio station development? First person, BBC founder. BBC founder, John Reed. Okay, John Reed. BBC founder John Reed, very helpful for develop this Radio Ceylon idea, John Reed. And second person, BBC engineer, okay, Edward Harper. Edward Harper. Edward Harper have a honor name. What's the honor name? The Sri Lankan. Okay. Okay. It's actually this father, okay, father of Sri Lankan, okay, radio transmission. Father of Sri Lankan radio transmission. Father of Sri Lankan radio transmission. Okay. Father of Sri Lankan radio transmission is the person who Edward Harper, because he is the person who selects Sri Lanka and suggests Sri Lanka for BBC to develop a radio system. And that's the very important point. Father of Sri Lankan radio transmission, who's that person? Edward Hart. Now, then the third person is Hugh Clifford. Hugh Clifford is the representative person. Representative person, British government. Okay. Representative person from British government in Sri Lanka in that time. That time means 1925. Okay. Very important points, really important, is memorize this type of things. Years, names, really important. Get the point. And after that, okay, no, don't read this there from the BBC. BBC engineer Edward Harper and father of radio transmission in Sri Lanka. And Hugh Clifford, representative person by BBC, BBC, not BBC, British government. Right? Because they ruled our country, in 1850 to 1948, that time period. Okay? Big. Also some connections are there. Then after that 1948, the independence comes. Okay. Then our radio system actually we get the freedom to develop our radio system as a Sri Lankan radio system. Okay. Then after that, after 1948, 1960, that time period, we can see the CBC ideas there. Ceylon, Broadcasting Corporation ideas there, 1960s. Then after 1965, we can see the Department of Radio, Department of Radio Transmission in Sri Lanka. Firstly, Radio Broadcasting Corporation, second in 1965, Department of Radio Transmission. After 1966, okay, 1966, the Radio Act, developed by the Sri Lankan government, Radio Act. According to Radio Act, okay, they institutionalize, they get the idea about the government radio system and they institutionalize working SLBC, Sri Lankan Broadcasting Corporation. It's established after 1966 according to the Radio Act. Please point out this point. It's really important. 60 CBC, Ceylon Broadcasting Corporation. 65 Department of Radio. 66 Radio Act comes and Sri Lankan Broadcasting Corporation established. That's the point. And when you have some doubt, please tell me. The years really important. Really important. After that, in 1979, Sri Lanka's first provincial radio system established. Okay, established. It's called Raja Rata Service. Raja Rata Service. First provincial radio. System. Second radio system is If someone asks, what is the second provincial radio system in Sri Lanka? That's Ruhunu Service. Ruhunu Service. Ruhunu Service. Ruhunu Service. And the third radio system provincial is Kandurata Service. Kandurata means central province. Okay. Kandurata Service. This one north central, down south, and this one central province. Provincial radio systems. Okay. Provincial radio systems. Rajata service, Ruguna service, Kandurata service. Okay now. After that, this one also very important. The first community radio. This is rural idea, okay? Community radio. What is the first community radio system in Sri Lanka? It's called Hot Malay Service. Hot Malay Service. Hot Malay area. Gamsala Hot Malay that area. Hot Malay Service is the first community radio system in Sri Lanka. First community radio system in Sri Lanka. Very important. Please note down that. This common sense, this common knowledge really important for the MCQ paper sometimes. We want to explain the radio or something in Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan history about the communication or something. Please get this point, really important. For series. Then after that, the first private radio channel in Sri Lanka. First private radio channel in Sri Lanka is FM 99. Established 1993. FM 99 is the first private radio system in Sri Lanka and it's established in 1993. 1993, FM 99 is the first private radio system in Sri Lanka. First private radio station in Sri Lanka. That's the thing. Now, after we have to talk about the television thing, then we can go to the this lesson idea. Okay. This one also really important because not the out of lesson, very important things to explain Sri Lankan history. Okay, that's the thing. Most of the students, actually, most of the people don't know this. That's the problem. Really important, this type of things are Sri Lankan examples for the radio television development. Right. The next thing after. Next point. 1972. In 1972. Okay. This person. Shantilal Vikramasinghe. Actually, brother from Rani Vikramasinghe. Rani Vikramasinghe's elder brother is Shantilal Vikramasinghe. Okay. Shantilal Vikramasinghe. Okay. Successfully introduced television transmission in Colombo-wide base. Colombo-wide base. Because it's not island-wide in that time. Just firstly they experiment that thing for the Colombo-wide. But very important point. Shantilal Vikramasinghe is the first person who introduced the television systems in Sri Lanka. Where? Colombo-wide. So in the paper they ask, who is the developer founder of the Sri Lankan television system? Chantilal Commission is the person. Very important. Very important. Former is the owner about the TNL radio television system. Now it's not in there. Now the TNLs, all the transmission centers and towers, they sell to the Supreme TV. Now it's owned by Supreme TV. But really important. After 30 years, they stopped full transmission about the TNL. The TNL founder Shantila reports. Then after that, 1979, 1979. In first, first television channel, television channel introduced by Shan Singh, Shan Singh, Shan Singh. It's really important because very familiar television channel, you know that. It's called what the Independent Television Network. Simply, what is the name? ITN. ITN is the first television channel in Sri Lanka. Very important. ITN is the first television channel in Sri Lanka. First private, after that it become a government idea, but first private television channel in Sri Lanka is ITN. Know about that. ITN is the first private television channel in Sri Lanka. First one, the second one, first one. First one. The next one. Now I try to write in here the second government television channel in Sri Lanka, but the first government television channel and second television channel. Second television channel and second television channel and first government based television channel introduced by China. No, sorry. Introduced by Japan. Sorry, Japan. Japan. So Jatuk Rupawahini. We simply in single we can put Jatuk Rupawahini. Okay, that is the first government-based television channel in Sri Lanka and second television channel in Sri Lanka. Government is called SLRC. It means Sri Lankan Rupawahini Corporation. Sri Lankan Rupawahini Corporation, SLRC. Sri Lankan Rupawahini Corporation, SLRC. Sri Lankan Rupawahini Corporation, SLRC. Introduced by Japan government, Sri Lanka. Year you have written there in 1982. 1982. So the first private television channel in 1979. First government television channel in 1982. That point is really important. If they ask to explain Sri Lankan mass media evaluation, please put these points. Please put these years. Please put these media channels names. Really important. Without that, you can't explain this. That's the point. Now, lastly, first English medium television channel and private ones in Sri Lanka. That's the thing. In 1995, MTV, MBC established. MTV means Maharaja's Television Network. MBC means Maharaja's Broadcasting Corporation, Indian one. Okay, established in Sri Lanka as the first okay, private English TV channel. Okay, and first 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 news channel. Okay, very important. So Sirius and MTV NBC that network become the first English medium private television channel in Sri Lanka, MTV, and Sirius TV become the first news channel in Sri Lanka. First news channel in Sri Lanka. That's it. So this point is really important to explain the development of the communication studies, not the communication studies, communication mass media development in Sri Lanka. Really important. Right? Now, we can go to the other rest of ideas. Then we can. I mainly try to finish this lesson today. We can do that thing. This practice. Okay. And history of the communication studies in here. Now already you have these other points. You can point out that thing in the book. And in here also you have to highlight some ideas. Huh? So firstly, history of the communication studies in Sri Lanka. I mean now this point. Okay? And first point. In the 60s, the Ceylon Broadcasting Corporation (CBC). Already I told you in here I wrote that thing. Yes, highlight. CBC, Ceylon Broadcasting Corporation. Highlight that. CBC, Ceylon Broadcasting Corporation, as well as the Lake House had conducted training programs for professional journalists. So highlight CBC, and Lake House, please highlight Lake House. Lake House. And under that point, please write down this thing. Under that point, please write down this thing. Okay. The government-based radio and printing partners. The government-based radio and printing partners. Radio and printing partners. These two ideas, these two organizations, Corporation CBC and Lake House, government-based radio and printing partners, in late 1960s, in late 1960s, in late 1960s, in late 1960s, in late 1960s. In late 1960s. That's the point. Right? Late 1960s. Correct. Then the second point after that. Second point. The subject of the communication was firstly introduced. Okay, firstly introduced. To Sri Lanka under the initiations of the junior campus at Dehiwal. In 1968 to 69. So please highlight the junior campus Dehiwal. But it's not only junior campus, please note down this thing. It's a junior campus, yeah, but it's a junior technical campus. Huh? Junior technical campus. Okay, in Delhi world. Okay, 1968 to 69. It's a newspaper-based, journalism-based course. Okay, and two important peoples are there. Two important scholars are there. You have to note down that scholar names in under that second point. Okay. So, who are the very important scholars for that this course, journalism course? Please note down these two names under that point. What's the idea? These two names, write down. Okay, Doctor Edwin Aryadas. 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 Another person, Minister I M R A Area Area Bull. IMRA irregular. IMRA irregular. IMRA irregular. Okay. These two people really helpful for what thing? To develop the first journalism course in Sri Lanka. First university-based journalism course in Sri Lanka. Okay. These two people, please highlight. Very important people, very important scholars. This person, IMR Idigola, is the former higher education minister in that in 1968 to 69 period. Okay. Former higher education minister, IMR Idigola. And this person, university scholar, and great journalist, international journalist, and we call him first founder of the course about the journalism, first founder of the syllabus in Sri Lanka for the communication, university one. And we call him father of Sri Lankan communication studies. Father of Sri Lankan communication studies. And sometimes we can call Sri Lankan Wilbur. Sri Lankan Wilbur. Wilbur in Europe, Wilbur is the first person who developed the syllabus. And Edwin Argas is the first person who developed the syllabus in Sri Lanka. So he became the father of Sri Lankan communication studies and he became the Sri Lankan Wilbur. Please note down that. Father of Sri Lankan communication studies or Sri Lankan Wilbur. Who's that person? Edwin Argas. Very important. Very important. Okay, right? Note down this thing. Note down that. And years, please highlight. 1968 to 69, please highlight. That after. The third point. The 1971, just highlight. The 1971 instructions which paved the way for the introductions of job-oriented is targeting to the job, okay? Job-oriented professional course to the university system. The subject of the communication study was introduced. Okay, job-oriented communication subject means newspaper writing, journalism, newspaper journalism based ideas here. And put a bracket and write this thing under that point, under that point, under that point, under that point. Okay. Okay. The main reason, the main reason, the main reason, you can see that in the Dehiwala Junior Campus idea, actually 1968 to 69, no? Only 1 year course. How it happens? Now I give this point for that thing. Huh? That's why I gave this point. Okay. What is the reason actually that job oriented, actually that journalism course actually stopped? And only 1 year course is there. How it happened? The reason now you can get into the main reason for right now. The main reason for 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 the shutdown down journalism course is the main reason for shut down the journalism course is is okay, is 1971 labor struggles and I think small space in there. Yeah, don't have space. Please note down this in the book. Okay, labor struggles and politically unstability. Politically unstable. That political instability and labor struggles are the reasons for shut down the journalism post in 1968 to 1969. Okay, they stopped that thing because after 1970 they can see low labor struggles and the political instability in Sri Lanka. So that's why they stopped that course in 1969 because all the workers go to the picketings and the strikes. So the university workers also, their lecturers also go to there. So they can't maintain a course in that time. So they shut down there. That's the reason. Correct. Go to the next point after. 1973, in the University of California, a new department, namely Department of Mass Communication Studies, just highlight. In the paper, they asked who introduced the first department for the mass communication studies. That university, please highlight year 73 and University of California highlight. Okay. And underline Department of Mass Communication. 1973, University of California. Okay. Department of Mass Communication. Department of Mass Communication. Highlight this. Correct. And after that, you can see some main lecturers' names are there and visiting lecturers' names are there. Main lecturers. Who are the main lecturers of this department? For the first part, Professor Vimal Disanayak, first lecturer. Professor Vimal Disanayak. Second person, Professor Sunanda Mahendra. Please only highlight the two names in the main lectures. Only highlight the two names in the main lecturers that line up. Professor Vimal Disanayak and Professor Sunanda Mahendra. Okay. Two people actually support for the media department of the communication main lecturers, Professor Valsanayaka and Sunanda Mahan. Please highlight. And after that, you can see the Professor M.B. Ari Father and Professor Edirivira Sarakchand. I think you know most. Yeah. Edirivira Sarakchand. Edirivira Sarakchand is the director and scriptwriter of the Manami, Singhabao, Mahasar, oh, Malagiyattu. Think about that. Very good drama artist, veteran drama artist, and professional person. Professor. Agriculture Sarakchan. That where the university have the Peradeniya University have the open area theatre. Sarachandra open area theatre was very memorable place. Okay. Next one, Dr. Edwin Aridas. You already know. Dr. Edwin Aridas means who? Sri Lankan Wilbur, and he's the first person who developed a syllabus for the university. So he's the Sri Lankan Wilbur. And lastly, Mr. D. C. Ranthunga, and lecturer that person, and explain some ideas about the communication idea for the department. Okay, so main two lecturers are Professor Sumanta Mahendra and Professor Vimal Sanay. Now we have to move to the visiting lectures. I can see so many characters are there. I think some names actually familiar for you, but okay, we start. Dr. Edwin Nardas, so you already know Dr. Edwin Nardas is the Sri Lankan Wilbur and mainly the founder of the Sri Lankan communication study syllabus. Okay, and Edwin Nardas put bracket to what? Sri Lankan Wilbur. That is the honor name, Sri Lankan Wilbur. Okay. And next one, Dr. Pearson Mathis, lecturer, university lecturer. Next person really important. Mr. D.B. Nihal Singh, very important person. Why actually it's important? Very historical idea in there. Okay. So, D.B. Nihal Singh is the person who developed a color teledrama in firstly in South Asia. Okay. Near to the DB Nihal Singh, put dash and right to near that right hand side. Uh, he is the writer. He is the is the founder and first director of first director of the South Asian first color drama color drama color drama. He's the founder and first director of the South Asian first color drama. And what write down name? Drama is called Dimutu Mutu. Dimutu Mutu. Dimutu Mutu is the first color drama in South Asia. See, yeah, we have some valuable ideas for the media. Okay, world's second radio station in here, and South Asian first color drama in here. Dimutu Mutu. Okay, in 1982. 1980. It means established year of the Jataka. So this teledrama became the first color teledrama that they telecast in SLB, SLR. Sri Lankan Rupahani Corporation first color teledrama is Dimutu in 1982. Okay, that's right. Correct. Then leaving house against the first color teledrama director in South Asia, Dimutu is a drama. Next one. K. Jayatilak. K. Jayatilak, who quote and very famous lesson in the children that in the grade 1, 2, that 5, that time period, the government schools also very famous book is there, and that book published by author actually K. Jayatilak. The book name is Apata Classicalia. Sometimes you're familiar with that name, but sometimes you don't know. No problem. Upper basically, okay, upper. That is the book story actually wrote by K.J. Srilankan. Very famous one in the past, the child, okay. And next person, Bhupothil, K.J. Bhupothil. And next one, Mr. Mahagamasekar. Mahagamasekar have so many titles. Mahagamasekar is a very multitasking person, multi-talented person. So, put back at right. He's a book author, uh, lyricist, lyric writer, okay, lyricist, okay, film director. That film name is Tung Mang Handir, Tung Mang Handir. He directed this film, Tung Mang Handir, and Tung Mang Handir also a book, and he wrote that author published Tung Mang. Okay. And after that, uh, poemist, poemist, and newspaper columnist, poemist and newspaper columnist. That much liberal ideas they try to explain. Okay, Mahagamasekar. Okay, Upota, lyric writer, poemist, newspaper columnist, artist, okay, film director, teledrama, film director, book author. That all the things, all the titles are there. That's what. Dr. W.D. Amardev. I think you know this person name, familiar name. W.D. Amardev actually world-class musician and in Sri Lanka. And most of the Europeans actually call from Amardev Sri Lankan voice. Sri Lankan voice is Amardev. That much respect that person has. So W.D. Amardev, a musician, great musician and singer. Great musician and singer. And next two people are lecturers, okay? D.C. Ramatunga and P.S.C. Gunaratna. Lecturers. Correct? Then last point in here. 1972 diploma course titled Journalism was launched by the University of Sri Lanka. 1972 diploma course is titled on journalism course. So journalism is newspaper. Was launched by University of Java and now also that course actually activated. Now this now name is not the this idea journalism idea. It's called now write down this thing, diploma in writership and journalism. Diploma in writership and journalism. Diploma in writership and journalism. Now also people join with that course, but it's called Diploma in Writership and Journalism, mainly focused on the newspaper. Main. That's the point. Last, you can see some ideas on here. What are the universities that you have after A-levels? What are the universities that you have know and get the ideas about that? But what are the main Sri Lankan universities who conduct communication study courses? What are the main Sri Lankan universities who conduct communication courses? Communication studies courses. Okay, communication studies courses. First one, University of California. Now already you know because it's a Department of Mass Communication idea is there. The University of California is there. Hi there. And secondly, University of Srilankan is there. Srilankan. And the other one, University of Colombo. University of Colombo is there. And after that thing, that university also connected with the Colombo University, but it's not in the Colombo. This university is established in foreign area, not in Colombo. But this universities, two universities have a link. Okay. So Free Pali campus is foreigner one, but Free Pali campus connected with the Colombo campus because reason Colombo campus performing art department and mass media department only in Sri Pali University. Other subjects not in there. Mainly, mainly uh, performing art and mass media only in there. And Sri Pali University very important because this new government named that thing as a one thing. Write down. Faculty for mass. First faculty. First faculty. Okay. First faculty for maths in Sri Lanka. First faculty for mass media in Sri Lanka. First faculty for mass media in Sri Lanka. This is the first faculty. But Sri Pali University, first faculty for mass media. Right. Then the Institute of Rajarata that means in Thailand, India. And sixth one open university, you know. That type of areas have open universities. And Samarkand Trincomalee campus is Eastern University. Our most of students now also learning that Trincomalee campus, Eastern University, and English medium, all the courses are, and main focus for English. And last one, Institute of Jaffna also have communication studies. But unfortunately, parents in university don't have that thing. That's why most of the people don't need that thing for the communications. That's why they go for the Colombo, Calanier, Japan, to that type of thing. So, right. Go to the next page. First time introduced that these university ideas are here, and here in this idea starts from where when this communication study subject to school area, school levels. See, first time introduced the subject of communication and media studies. Actually, media is not media. I think network is yeah, sorry. Uh, 2006, grade 10. Firstly, grade 10 is a subject, some compulsory subjects, not compulsory subject, it's a selected subject. Bucket subject, you have to select this. Okay. The pilot project is that in 2006 grade 10. And after 2007 is the first O-level paper in Sri Lanka working communication and media studies. Highlight 2007 grade 11. 2007 grade 11. Arts stream 2008. Then when studies subject in the A levels 2010. 2008 to 2010, that time period is the first A level time period. A level paper for the communication and media studies. And we are the second peoples. We are the second peoples. We are the second students who study communication and media studies. That subject with IT. IT and media as a compulsory subject for us after 2010. And we have to select only one subject for the arts stream, political or one thing. So we are the first people who done the communication, done the A levels with IT and communication media studies. Okay, it's compulsory subjects for us. Okay, and after that, 2008, in that time period, it's an art subject, yeah? Communication media studies. But now we are in 2026, and now it's not the art subject. Now it's a technical subject. Technical subject. Right there. Technical subject. Right. 3 years, 2006, 2007, 2008. Grade 10, grade 11, A levels. Okay. Then the next thing. What are the outside institutes who conduct the communication media studies courses? So many organizations are there, private ones. First one, SLTTI, Sri Lankan Television Training Institute. Sri Lankan Television Training Institute. That's the SLTTI long term. Okay. But short idea is SLTTI, Sri Lankan Television Training Institute. Okay. Then the second one, SLMTI. SLMTI means Sri Lankan Media Training Institute. Sri Lankan Media Training Institute. SLMT. Okay. Next one, SJC. SJC means Sri Lankan Journalism College. Journalism College, just hide it. And next one, NITT. National Institution of Television Training. National Institution of Television Training. Okay. National Institute of Television Training. NITT. And the last one is SLTC, Sri Lankan Telecommunication Campus. Sri Lankan Telecommunication Campus. And also we can see in this universities also have that course, right now. ACBT, CBT, okay, SLIIT means SLIT, okay, NIBM, okay, AMD, Designing and Technology, means AMDT, AMDT, okay, ICPT. These universities also have one thing, private studies about the communication. Some universities have degrees, some universities have the diplomas, HNDs. Right. Now we have to move to the last two topics of this lesson. Then, okay. We have to move to the UNESCO and Grunwald Declaration idea. UNESCO and Grunwald Declaration idea. Firstly, you have to know what is UNESCO. UNESCO is a world-class main organization and mostly UNESCO support for other countries for anything, any problem. Okay, that's a great support for that type of developing countries. So UNESCO and Global Declaration. First, you have to know what is UNESCO. 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 Each one have a meaning. Like U means United. We know. N means nations or national. Nations. E is the first point, education. And second one, science, scientific. And the last one, C means culture, cultural. Last one, organization. So what is UNESCO? United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. This is the full name of the UNESCO. Okay. United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization is the idea about what the UNESCO. Then after, in accordance with the recommendations made by UNESCO in the Global Declaration in 1982, media education was introduced and popularized from the primary to university level, highlighted. Primary to university level. Primary to university level. Primary to university level, highlighted. And through adult education. Okay. Most of the times, global declaration or UNESCO ideas really target for the sometimes humanity, helping each others, that type of respect, that type of things. Okay. And this is the point. UNESCO and global declaration, UNESCO declarations on media education, and international symposium on media education, global Federal Republic of Germany. Grunwald is not a person name. Grunwald is a state name. Okay. This valuable report actually signed in that area. Okay. Grunwald Republic of Germany. 1982, uh, January 22, 1982, January 22nd. That time, that day is the day that they established UNESCO Global Declaration. But this definition actually too big, no? Don't try to memorize that things. Can't. So I developed 4 points in here. It's really helpful for understand this passage. Okay. First thing now you have to read the passage first. It means uh, not in the not the 4 points. You have to read these passages. Okay. Now this is the idea. Initiations and support. Okay. Initiations and support. Comprehensive media education programs from preschool to university level. Recently we discussed that. Recently we highlighted this. Preschools to university levels. That type of effects are there. And in adult education, the purpose of which is to develop the knowledge, skills, and attitudes which will encourage the growth of critical awareness and consequently provide greater competence among the users of the electronic and print media. Ideally, such programs should include the analysis of media products and use of media uh, as means of the creative expression available. In here, develop the knowledge, skills, and attitudes which will encourage the growth of critical awareness. So highlight knowledge, skill, and attitudes. Then the other word is critical awareness. Only highlight that. Okay. Knowledge, skills, attitudes, and critical awareness. Knowledge, skills, attitudes, and critical awareness. Knowledge, skills, attitudes, and critical awareness. That's really helpful. Knowledge, skills, attitudes, and uh, critical awareness. Second one, provide greater confidence among the users of the electronic and print media. Highlight only electronic media and print. Electronic media, print. Electronic media, print. It's a simple idea. Electronic media means television, radio type things. Newspaper type things are print media. Okay. Newspapers, books, magazines, posters, that type of things are for the print media. Third one, analysis of the media products, the use of media as media of the creative expression. Highlight creative expression. Creative expression. Creative expression. Creative expression. Right. The last one, effective use of and participation in available media channels. Just highlight uh, participation. Really important. Participation. So just highlight, just read all the highlighted words in here. Knowledge, skills, attitudes, and critical awareness. And after that, electronic and print media based ideas there. That's the point. And after that, creative expression you highlight. And after that, effective use of and participation in available sense. Okay. So highlight effective use and participation. What do you highlight? Yeah. So knowledge, skills, attitudes, and critical awareness, electronic and print media, creative expression, effective use and participation. This memorize this. So the last part of this lesson, last part of this lesson. So what are the reasons that effect to build the Grunwald Declaration? What are the reasons that effect to build the Grunwald Declaration? Right? Reasons. First of all, limitless flood of information. It means gossips are there, rumors are there, that news also there. Okay, so many problems. Limitless flood of information. That much fast, that much not far fast. Okay, so many things connected together, and so many informations comes to you, and you can't understand how we understand what is the reliable news or what is the not reliable. It's a problem. Okay. That's the idea. Limitless flood of information. And second one, various types of the materials of consumer tendencies. Highlight that. Consumer tendency idea. Just highlight last name. Consumer tendency. Consumer tendency. Right. Third one. Instead of the safeguarding the individual, there are imaging the threats. Highlight not all this safeguarding. Just highlight the safeguard. 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 Safeguard highlight. And the last one, the urgent need of building measures to prevent media challenge. Urgent needs of the building measures and prevent media messages. So that's the idea. Okay. Main four things are there. First part, limitless part of information. Okay. Secondly, consumer tendencies there. Okay. Then, instead of safeguarding the individual, there are image of the trends, ideas. Now, that lastly, the urgent and prevent media challenges. Under that thing, please write down. This type of things are there. This type of things are there. What's that thing? Okay. Limitless part of information, okay. That thing, okay. Various types of the models and consumer tendency, okay. And safeguarding, okay. And building measures, oh, I like that. Building measures. Right. And limitless part of information means so many medias are there. That's the reason. Various types of models, consumer tendency means that advertisements ideas are there. Advertisements are there. Advertisements are there. That's the idea. And safeguarding means self-control. Okay, means emotional controlling, emotionally controlling, emotional, emotion. Okay, emotional safeguarding, emotional balancing ideas, and after that need of the building measures to media. Building measures under that thing write down ethics are there. Ethics are there. Rules are there. Ethics are there. Rules are there. And next one, guideline. Guideline. Professional guidelines are there. Professional guidelines, rules and ethics for what thing? This building measures, I think. And safeguarding is controlling emotions, controlling ideas. That. Now, the last point. Communication and media studies that is introduced to the GC advanced level consists of two uh, parts. For the first thing, communication. What is the idea? Communication. Definitions, basic functions, roles and functions, theories, different types, skills and practice, types of patterns. That type of skills are we can see the communication. And second point is media studies. In the media studies, we can see nature of media is there, learning about media, identifying the activities of media, historical evaluation of media, media culture, social effects of media. Now we have to write down each topics have some ideas. Okay. So firstly, definition of the communication. Definition of the communication. Definition of the communication. Definition of the communication. Right. I can give you some just definitions, names. Huh? Which type of things we can learn in the second lesson. Okay. First definition. Last page definition. Last page definition. Last page definition. Second one. Second one. Okay. Uh, read the strong definition. Read the strong definition. Read the strong definition. Read the strong definition. Next one. Shannon and Weaver. Shannon and Weaver. definition. Shannon and Weaver definition. Shannon and Weaver definition. Next one. Next one. Charles Pulley definition. Charles Pulley definition. Charles Pulley's definition. Right. And the next one. Role and functions of the communication. Right. Just write down these three roles mainly. Another definition is there. Another one. If you have some space, you can write there. I already give as per the definition, Wilbur definition, and after that thing, Shannon Weaver definition and Charles Field definition. If you have some space, please write down. Oxford definition also there. Oxford. Oxford definition also there. Oxford definition also there. So five definitions are there. Laswell, Wilbur, Charles Pulley, and Shannon Warren Weaver, and Oxford one also there. Next one. Role and functions. Role and functions. Role actually these three things are you can write. Role and functions. Three roles are there. First one is teacher role. Teacher role. Teacher role. Okay. And the other thing is guardian role. Guardian role. And last one, forum of discussion. So, forum of discussion. So, forum of discussion. Three roles. Functions, mainly two functions we can write in there. Literacy, developing. Criticism, developing. These two things really important in the function. So, next one. Basic functions of the communication. Basic functions of the communication. Basic functions means information sharing, gathering, okay, talking with someone, that type of idea. Basic functions. Entertaining is a function. Education is a function. That type of things are there. Theories of the communication. Next one. It's a good thing. Theories of the communication. Theories of the communication. Theory. Mainly we know one-way theory is there and two-way theory also there. One-way reaction speed, actually no, but in here, reactions, reactions are two-way. The two theories are there. One-way theory and two-way theory. One-way theory, no reactions. Two-way theory have reactions. That's it. And different types of the communication models, you can see that thing there. And write down these two names under that thing. Okay. Linear model. It means one way. Other one. Non-linear. Non-linear. Two models are there. Type then skills and practical use of communication studies. Skills and practical use of communication studies. Skills means some kind of writing, acting, dancing, that type of things in here. Okay. Skills means some kind of that. Think about thinking also. Okay. Answering also. Okay. Answering. Distractions. Also sometimes some kind of practical things. That thing also depend on the communication. Okay, thinking, answering, distractions. Okay, creativity, and that's also a function. Okay, practical skill, thinking, answering, distracting is a problem, but creativity, entertaining ideas are skill side. There's some types of the communication patterns. Mainly two types are there. Mainly two types are there. You know that is one way as well as one way as well as two way. Media studies. So communication have these types also, and media studies actually a practical idea. So types of the communication patterns. Just write down this thing under the thing. Some kind of patterns like intra type ideas, yeah, intra-personal communication. Under the types of the communication ideas, right now, intra, it is one person. Second one, interpersonal, it means two, three people are there. Communication, it means one person, but it must be less than five means this one. More than five is group. Think about it. Less than five means one and intra and interpersonal are less than five. More than five, okay, is group communication. More than. And the fourth one also same like it. More than five idea. Actually, we can't count the receivers in that communication is the mass. Mass means television, radio type medias. So how we count the receivers. So we don't know amount of the receivers. So automatically become more than 5 minutes. So many things happen. So many countless. We can't count that much huge receivers types are there. So main four types are intra, intergroup, and mass. Main four types like this. Think about it. Yeah, main four types. Now we go to the media studies. Media studies is practical. No, no. Near to that communication idea in here. This is the communication idea in here. Communication idea in here. Please write down theories. Theory of theory of communication. Actually, the communication part indicate what in theory. Theory, just practical theory. Just theory. Just practical theory. Okay. Just practical. But in the media studies, near to that thing, please write down that's the practical usage of communication. Practical usage of communication. Practical usage of communication. Now, media studies is that idea. Okay. Right. Next one. Media studies. First one, nature of communication content. Nature. You know that in the context idea, we talk about that in context. Okay. So in here, nature of communication content. Nature means what idea? Language. Okay. Technology. Okay. Patterns. Okay. Experience. Is that things are working? The context idea. Okay. Nature, context, surrounding all the ideas are same. Second one, identify the activities of media. Identify the activities of media. Identify the activities of media. Listening, writing, okay, performing, creating, that type of activities. Okay. Next one, media culture. Next one, media culture. Media culture have some points like this. Okay. Media culture actually depend on one thing that mainly it's based for mass media. Mass media. Mainly technology is there. Technology is there. And I'm like uh, mainly television mainly television is the okay, based of the media culture. Base side television. Next one. Have to follow the agenda by by superiors. 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 1950s is the year that in 1950s is the year that in Walter Benjamin okay, is the year that Walter Benjamin developed the media cultural concept. Cultural concept. Cultural concept. 1950s, Walter Benjamin and media culture concept is of the culturology. Walter Benjamin and English. Okay. Agenda, television, technology. That's really important for example. Then learning about media. Learning about okay. Next one. Learning about media is this thing. Right down there after that. Media is a path to exchange our message. Media is a path to exchange our idea, message. It's like and path is the word we have to hide. Path. That idea is there. Path. Okay. Path is the medium. Have to understand. Then historical evaluation of the media, very simple. What is the idea there? Historical evaluation means this prehistoric prehistoric era to new era. Okay. That's on social effects of the media. Actually, yes, motivations counts, right? Motivations, motivations, addictions, motivations, addictions, motivations, addictions, distractions, mental distractions, mental distractions, mental distractions. Right now, okay, right now all the things, these two things are also finished. Now there's some small necessities in here, like the advantages of the communication. Right, same we can use this thing also. Just read. Develop the skill of communication. Skill of communication means exchange. Yeah, put a back and right. Skill of communication means mainly we have exchanging ability. So exchange is the point. And next thing, develop media literacy. Develop media literacy. Media literacy means providing right, analyzing, utilizing, creating, valuing. More names are there. Next one. Develop the ability to use media critically. Media critically means analyze something, then after think about what's actually idea in the media messages or something, television, news, sometimes documentaries have that. But use media appropriately in the context. Contextually, nature, language, that type of things. So think about this. And after that, develop an understanding of the media and culture. Okay, think about that. Understanding, uh, developing the media and culture. Develop and understand the media culture. Okay, then understand the impact of the media on the individual and society. Individual and society. This lesson, first part also have this thing. Individual means your family, your friends, that type of things. Society means what thing? Outsiders, uh, other people, working areas, schools, that type. So under the use of information, it's good. 2 points we have to write on there, put the right hand right. First, information type is factual information. Factual. Factual information. Factual. Second one, social information. Factual information, social information. Factual information, social. Factual and social. Main two. Next one. Understand media ethics and regulations. Highlight the ethics and regulations. Ethics means how to follow them. Regulations means some kind of law ideas. Yeah. They control it. No. And after that, contribute towards development as good citizen. Yeah. You want to do that. Okay. Be a good citizen. Really important the communication skills. And media ethics and regulations are there. How to follow them. It contribute toward development as a good citizen. Put back in there. Means understanding the democracy. Democracy. What do you think about it? Last one, next one, the creative communication skill. Creative communication skill means if someone want to be a creator, you have to improve these skills right down there. You have to inform, you have to these skills right now. First part, imagination. Next one, wonderfulness. 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 Things freshness. Actually, we can select curiosity, also very helpful for these spirit stores. Right. So end of this fully entire lesson. Now you can write these 4 questions. You can use the handout and fully read again, and you can write this answer. See, write down 4 things can be used to describe what is communication. No, now you have 6 characteristics. Fact and idea. Okay, fact and idea. And essential, simple, practical, that ideas you can write. Only 4. Only 4. Then second, write short terms about development of the creative communication studies globally and nationally. Globally, examples are First World War, Second World War time period, and Hitler's government things that you can write. And next one, the field of communication studies global and nationally, uh, comparing the use of two historical indicators are there. It means globally, First World War, Second World War, Abel Basham's idea, you can put that thing. And other idea, other idea, nationally, and develop junior campus idea, and other thing, free travel university idea, Cali University department ideas, and that type of things you can use to explain this thing. That one, global ideas are possible ideas, uh, national ideas. Our ideas is university-based things that we interact. Then 8 marks are only half page answer for that thing, half page. Third question. Explain 2 necessities and 2 advantages about study of the communication. Now, necessities are in here, last page. Necessities are in last page. And advantages, wait, advantages, advantages, you can see in here. Under the Wilberforce's name, you can see advantages. 8 advantages are there. And in here, yeah, same like that type of ideas are there. Okay, explain 2 necessities and 2 advantages. Put the topic and write 4 passages for that. Okay, shortly. Last one. Write the UNESCO Global Declaration. Global Declaration means don't write this thing. Don't write this full thing. Write down this main 4 points that I developed. Okay. And describe how it helps to the build literacy. You have to explain that. It means that education, scientific, and cultural things. I have to explain why uh, that kind of thing is actually effective for people. And first, you have to write down the declaration. Then describe how it helps to the building literacy and critical. Then, secondly, you have to explain literacy and criticism idea. Then, after that, you mainly know what are the reasons actually helpful to develop this Blueprint declaration. So, write down the 3 things, 3 ideas, and try to write that thing as 1.5 page answer. And third type of questions have 12 marks ideas. It means 1 page answer. And other ones after that thing, short answers means short half page answer means 8 marks answers. Don't try to explain much more things, just simple things. The first one, write down all these can use to describe ideas. Such by expansion idea, essential idea, simple, practical that type of ideas you can put in it. So that's the end of this lesson. And with any doubts if someone have, please put a message for me. And again, I can arrange a session for explain that things. And in the physical class also, if you have some doubt about the thing in the handout, please ask that thing from me in the physical class also. And please finalize the question answer and send it to me in WhatsApp. And I check the answers and I do the marks for you. So that's the end of today's sessions. And now, so anything, any problems that you have, please say. Thanks for being with us and good night. See you soon. See you there and the physical class and the next online class. Bye bye.